Welcome back again today, friends. I am in the garage and things have happened. We have had progress since the last garage to kitchen conversion update video. If you missed the last garage to kitchen conversion update video, you can click the link on the playlist. I'll have the whole playlist from where I first started brainstorming to where we are now linked down in the description below. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. Use code LFTable16 for up to 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts across 6 HelloFresh boxes plus free shipping. Just click the first link in the description below. But anyway, the big update in the last video was we had our plumbing done, we had the floor joist in, the electrical was started, and we had the windows and doors done. So following that update video, we probably had about 5 days or so where nothing much was happening here. Then our contractor fellow came back out and we had worked out phase 2 with him. Phase 2 consisted of getting insulation down in the floor. I am going to answer a whole slew of questions I've gotten from you guys also. And one of them is, are you going to insulate the kitchen? And I'm like, of course we're going to insulate the kitchen. Even though it's a cinder block garage, like I know we need insulation, and that's also required for county code and building permits and all of that. The insulation is in the floor. They added now this huge investment in building during these days. See these nice sheets of decent plywood, subfloor, whatever you want to call it. It costs more these days, so there you go. Look at it. 600 and some odd square feet of it. It's beautiful, it's here. I never thought a subfloor looked so good. So we got the subfloor done. What else has happened? Okay, they framed the walls, all the walls, and I'll take you around and see, but you can probably see some here. The floor, I feel like, took several days, almost a week. The walls, we were getting on to a second week there. And that's where we left off. I believe it was last week that these walls were finished. And now we need a couple weeks for Travis to do the electrical in the walls. And it's not only the electrical in the walls. I'm gonna give you an electrical tour too, but here's Jamerrill trying to explain it. There's this whole new pipe, this whole new covering. Oh, I'll show you here what it looks like. You see this? We got a whole long line of this going up on the side of the house now. There's stuff happening. There's wire going down to our main panel. There is wire coming up through the attic as well. There's wire pulled through the floor I see here that's just waiting in these walls. Wire coming out of the floor here, all kinds of electrical things happening. For Travis to get through all the electrical components, it's gonna take him a couple weeks. If Travis had a week off where he could do nothing but electrical, he could probably do it all start to finish in a week. And I know I've never filmed a day in the life of Travis, but Travis has very busy days keeping up with me and all that I got going on. So that's his full-time job. So just like today, I'm in here filming this morning in the garage, and that means Travis has a whole bunch of kids. I just saw kids with shields and running here, and things are happening. And even though we had 4 inches of snow on Saturday, hello Monday, it's gonna be 61 degrees today. The sun is shining, the day is good. But all that to say, if I'm working, that means Travis is working, and this mama works a lot. So today, as an example, I'm gonna film this, and then when I'm done filming this and a couple TikToks, I have to get some footage uploading to my editor. Then I'm going to, for my own mama heart and mental health, I'm gonna get outside with my kids for at least an hour in the sunshine. I try to count it as a workout on my watch so I know how much I walked and did in an hour. Try to get a good hour going. Then I'm gonna bring the kids in for lunch and hopefully 2 hours of read aloud time. This really does get back to this garage to kitchen conversion. Big old read aloud party time today, because last week we had some days where read alouds were cut short, and anywho, then big table work time. And within all of that, Travis will have a handful of hours to do things. So he'll be doing what he can in those few hours. Then after that, I have to film some freezer cooking prep, and I'm probably gonna be 3 to 4 hours doing that. So he'll be full on stay-at-home dad at that point. And then he's taking me to dinner tonight. It's Monday date night, so that's the day. So again, so like for today, for example, Travis will have a couple hours in the middle of the day to work on electrical stuff. Tomorrow will probably be the same. Wednesday, I'm having a full leaving the house work day. Travis won't get any electrical done that day. Thursday, we have homeschool group, so he will have probably 6 or 8 hours to work through it on Thursday. And he also might have some other stuff he needs to do, I don't know. He is a human with other things on his list, but electrical, of course, is high priority. And then Friday, he may get a couple hours in, but I also have a whole lot of filming scheduled for Friday, a whole lot of filming scheduled for Saturday. So again, those days, you know, he might get an hour or two here. So all that to say, that's how the electrical side is going for Travis. We chose to not sub it out because that's his jam and he can do it. But honestly, he's probably gonna need like 3 weeks or so to work through it all with just the way we got his schedule worked out. So that's what's happening right now. Now, phase 3 with our contractor, I know when Travis is done with the electrical, that's gonna be another inspection. We've got little past stickers. I showed you that one there. We got another one there. Everything has been passing. It's been awesome. So we'll need to get our next sticker, the electrical. Once that is passed, because there's gonna be wires and boxes and things in the walls and such, then I'm pretty sure what they do next is gonna be insulation in these walls and then drywall and a ceiling. Another thing our contractor did was get the attic ladder access box framed out over there. Travis will be setting a sub panel back in that corner. So drywall, and I'm guessing after that, I think it's floors, like the floors there. And then I think we're to cabinet installation part of the fun, which then, like, we're really gonna see things happening, right? Then once the cabinets are set, I have to book with another company. Like, I already paid the little $129 through Lowe's to set up the appointment if I was doing quartz or granite, but they don't come out to do their measuring until the cabinets are set. And then I'm not sure the time frame process with that. At this point though, I will tell you, besides this one storage pod, since the last video, my Mega Mama 60-inch stove has come, and it is in that storage pod, and it was so funny. So with the delivery with that, I believe it was UPS. Was it UPS or was it FedEx? Anyway, it was a local driver. He was a good old local fella. And he called me and asked me about our driveway and if tractor trailers are able to get up here, and does he have a spot to turn around and all that. And we do. We have had several tractor trailers up here, and I explained to him, like, we have a turnaround and they're able to make the turn, but you can't make it coming from this direction. You got to come from the other direction to make it up into our driveway. We were all set. And then delivery day came, and he's like, ma'am, I can't get into your driveway. Why not? Did you come from this one town? You got to come from the direction of the other town and make a left-hand turn and not a right-hand turn. He said, no, your driveway's paved, and it is against company policy to bring these big trucks on an asphalt driveway. And so I just felt like, well, how does anyone get anything delivered ever? I don't understand. He said, this was the great part. He said, y'all got a pickup truck. You can come down here and meet me at the 7-Eleven, and we can get it in your truck that way. And I'm thinking, this is a ginormous stove. I guess we paid for delivery and the price of the stove. I don't want to meet anybody with no pickup truck at no 7-Eleven. No, thank you. No, thank you, sir. So I said, well, thank you for that offer. I'm gonna need someone somewhere to figure out how to get the stove on up here in my house, because we're not going to pick it up. We don't have the equipment to do it. It's gonna require us rounding up several strong folks. I don't know what the stove plan is from the storage pod to in here, but I know it'll be less involved from loading the stove onto a pickup truck at 7-Eleven, getting it home, getting it off the pickup truck, and getting it into the storage pod. I just knew that there was some hope there. There had to be some other options. I said, just tell your folks back at home base there that to let me know what my options are. If you can't drive that truck up here, someone has to get me the stove, or I may not be able to get the stove. I didn't think too much farther than that, other than I thought, there's got to be a way they can get this stove up here. I mean, they deliver these stoves, right? And I could be the only person with a long asphalt driveway who's ever ordered one of these stoves. What's my option? A couple days later, they put it on a box truck. The box truck was able to come. He had the right dolly equipment, heavy machinery thing to get it over to my storage pod. And then at that point, him and my 18-year-old, because he was home at the time, they both were able to scooch it into the pod. It all worked out. That was my little getting the stove delivered. Didn't need to get the back of the pickup truck for it. I'm gonna take the camera off here. I'm gonna tour you around what is in this, looking more like a kitchen set up. Then I will answer a bunch of questions. I'm giving you our itinerary, and then I'm gonna take you around to the electrical things that have been done. Like I'll show you the big pipe up the side of the house and show you what's happening in the basement. And Travis might have some other important things for me to show you. I just know I'm gonna flip the light switch and the lights are gonna work, and that's gonna be amazing. Okay, so I'm way back in the corner here where I'm thinking, again, there's my outdoor shoes, where I'm thinking I'm gonna have my nice comfy Mama Reader Bible in the morning chair. And so then here we have framed out around the windows. All the windows are gonna have a really deep windowsill, which is lovely. Yes, so we will look at the framing and we will look at the floor, and you can't see the insulation. There will be pictures here to show you the different progress. I was working on other projects at the time that this was happening, and I could not get out here to get video footage for you every day. And Travis kept saying, video footage, well, I'll take pictures for you. So he got pictures for me, and that was helpful. Frame walls everywhere. So this is water for the sink, garbage disposal. Over here, water for the sink, garbage disposal. I've been asked about the dishwasher drains, and so again, I'm like, Travis, we don't have dishwasher drains. He's like, well, because the way the dishwashers have been at our last two houses, this house and the one before, the dishwashers drain into the garbage disposal. I know some folks don't like that. Some folks have problems. We haven't had an issue with that. That's the way it's going to be set up here. If we have an issue, well, that'll be an issue. So anyway, both dishwashers will be on either side. Over here, I see some wires. Right here is the pot filler. It's a hanging, but it will be up, and that will be lovely. I see a wire there. More framing out, tools in the window. Moving on down, we have a wire, we have another wire, some more framing out around that door. Travis also got the hardware on the doors. Over here is going to be a sub panel situation. There is our current laundry room door with the hardware off, and more things happening there. Here's this wall and those wires coiled up. And then up here is where they have attic access. Well, now this house has just a couple-year-old roof on it, but the building inspector was real impressed with our 1963 original roofing and whatever you call all those things up there. So anyway, here's a look at those windows framed out. And then over here, we got hardware on that door, and I hear kids blowing horns outside. They're having a good time. Okay, so the questions that came into me over on Instagram: when do you think the kitchen will be completed? When do I think it'll be done? I don't think it's gonna be end of April. I mean, things could, you know, sometimes, well, if we're talking a couple weeks more with the electrical, I feel like the insulation and the drywall and the flooring and the ceiling and the painting is gonna be a couple week thing. And then we still have to do all the cabinet insulation and stuff. So let me just say end of May. I'm thinking end of May, and that's cool because a lot of companies I talked to this fall about doing the kitchen in our area, many of them could not start. So my whole thing was, if I'm in my kitchen before the other companies could even start, I'm way ahead of the game. So that is awesome. Where the garage doors were, what will be there when the kitchen is done? Garage doors, we have these windows and this entry door here. My vision at this moment is to have a nice brown leather looking couch here by these windows, and to have my special mama chair with a nice little footstool and a neat stand light. Yes, the stand light I should have got at Costco like 2 months ago when I saw it, and it's not there anymore. And then I have stained glass to hang in all these windows. As of right now, this window here by the door, I'm thinking open area. I don't have to have anything there. Of course, I could put a potted plant there, but we shall see. I'm thinking open area because then when you come in, you can go along this long wall here, or you could come in this way. I'm just thinking of traffic patterns. And then of course going in the back door, you're gonna go that way. So anyway, I'm thinking a couch just to give a nice sitting area in the kitchen. Have you shared what the flooring is going to look like? So if you watched my third bathroom installation video from this summer, the floor that I got in that bathroom, it is supposed to be, and so far it has been for that bathroom, just waterproof, very durable, and look similar to a hardwood floor. And that I'm all about, like easy, easy functional flooring. Anything other than carpet, waterproof is an extra bonus. Let's just cover our whole lives in it. So that is what I also got for this kitchen, and that is what will be spread around. Another question I've received is, let's see here, will you be changing the driveway now the kitchen is being converted? I have to remind myself there are lots of houses that the driveway goes all the way up to the house. Now we have a nice long private driveway, and it has a nice circle, and then it branches off to come all the way up here to the house. We will be having a long porch added to the front of this kitchen. On that porch, I'm seeing all kinds of beautiful things. And as a rule, I think in my last video, we had just unloaded a lot of groceries, and we had both vans parked here with like the rear ends right out the kitchen window. And even today, my little van is there. And again, that was because I had to unload something. So the vans don't stay parked right here, blocking the front of the house. We have our storage pod over to the side, and we have parking over to the side. So as a rule, coming up to our house, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of cars. Travis is a car guy anyway, but like right now we've got 4 or so drivers here. So parking is to the side. Parking is going to stay at the side because otherwise we have to park far away to walk in, and that wouldn't be fun either. So I try to be realistic in that we have to get in the house. Lots of folks have cars parked up against their house. This is the kitchen. There's going to be cars over there, but there's also trees and flowers and Adirondack chairs, and hey, the refrigerators and the freezers won't be on the porch once this is all said and done, and I'm going to make it as beautiful as I possibly can. I did receive a lot of comments after that video with folks concerned about the cars, and so again I say this right here butted up against, you know, the butt of the vehicles right against the kitchen windows. That's not our standard, what we normally do. Oh, and I just saw one of my little decals fell off my old car. On the Chrysler, you know, it's just sad when those cheap little plastic things fall off cars because I'm here looking at the back of my vehicle. Oh, that's sad. Probably the ice. Ice makes things fall off sometimes, heavy. Okay, that's the parking situation. Would love to know your plans on the countertops. So my thoughts on the countertops just to this point have stopped. You know, I was heavily analyzing granite or quartz, or I think it's quartzine or quartzonite. And so I just got to the point where I know some about each of them, and right now I don't know what I'm doing. And I think it's okay for me to say I don't know what I'm doing. Because even if I thought I had it picked out right now, that company or any of the companies I would use, not coming out till the kitchen is set, cabinets. And I think also having the visual of the cabinets and the room coming together is gonna help me a little bit more with the countertops. Travis and I have looked the last couple times we were at Lowe's, and we both have 2 or 3 that are a couple different stone options that we both like. And Travis showed me some he definitely doesn't like, and he had I have some I definitely don't like. So we have options, and I'm not worried about that. So that's nice. If I'm not freaking out over something, then we're having a good day. So I don't know yet is my plan on that. Will you have stools all around the island? So my plan for the island is it's gonna be the 12-foot long side. Let me walk over here. This side, 12 feet long. This side, 6 feet long. Both that 12-foot side and this closer 6-foot side will have seating. And then we're gonna have a 16-foot table on the other side of it. So right now at our 9-foot table, as I mentioned, we'll have different human numbers at our meals. So we could have a meal with 13. The other day we had a bunch of friends over, so I think we had 16. For 13, we can still do it. We got Tobin still in his high chair and Benjamin's chair we can put at an angle. We can make it work. Not comfortably, not a lot of elbow room, but it can still happen. 16-foot table. I'm super hopeful that we can fit 20 or more comfortably. And then when I had thought through the seating for the big island, I figured we could get 9 around that comfortably. So 6 on one side, 3 down the other. It might be more of a bar stool situation, or maybe I would look for bar stools that have at least like a little back to them. I'm not sure, because I'm gonna have a lot of kids, my own kids. And if you haven't seen the news on Instagram, we're getting a grandbaby this summer, and grandbaby won't be at the counter yet, but sooner or later, I'm gonna have a lot of grandbabies around this counter. You can leave me your kitchen island seating options. The 4 that I have now, I love. I got those at IKEA. I could just get 5 more. I mean, those have held up since the Forest House and then this house for 2. So I've probably had those for at least 4 years, because I got them kind of halfway of living at the Forest House. You do your house math, right? We have not broken those. I have kids sit on them on their knees and, sometimes crawling from one seat to the other. And so 5 stars, good review on those. And so visually, I don't know how that, 3 seats one way, 6 the other, all those chairs sticking up, but then again, I may not care. Some things I care about, some things I don't. So we will have seating, I know that. But if you have some kitchen island seating that you absolutely love, let me know. It might even be a situation where I could get 5 more of a different style and mix them in. I'm not opposed to that either. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you, this commenter on Instagram has all kinds of great questions here. Have you made a decision about your beautiful backsplash tiles? So I got a sampling of those, and honestly, that's another thing where the backsplash and the countertops, I'm like, these are not now decisions. Things that had to be now decisions, especially when we were, dealing with a lot of shortages, and I was concerned, like, will my cabinets take 8 months to get here? I didn't know. I had to decide floors and cabinets and appliances to get those a coming, and they've all come. So, but things like the countertop choices and the backsplash, those are still decisions, final decisions to be made. I know in some other videos I've shared some of my ideas. I feel like when the cabinets are installed, when the stove is installed, we can have the sink done, the dishwasher, we can have bare, like open, no countertops, no backsplash. but I really think that's visually going to help me. And also, I'm so in love with the gorgeous 60-inch range hood that we got for over the stove. I just get a feeling, decorating wise, did not go to an interior design school, obviously. I know when I like something. I know when I see it, and when I like it, I know how it makes me feel. And so once I'm standing in this 3/4 of the way done space, I feel like I will then be able to look at things and kind of feel like, yeah, that's it. And so far, when again, countertops and also backsplash, nothing has just said, yeah, that's it. It said, okay, maybe, or I don't hate this. So, you know, I have the things I definitely don't like, and then I have a, okay, I don't hate that. That's plausible, right? So jury's still out for that one. So another question, because of the success of your business and the additional value your new kitchen will add to your home for potentially selling, how do you feel about moving into a larger home suited for your family size? Would that be an option for you? So, hey, that's a great question. I am a professional real estate buyer in my mind, okay? I joke with Travis sometimes, I'm like, I could get my real estate license. Yeah, but no, right? But I do love real estate. I do love houses. I love touring houses. I love house hunters, even though they're faking me out on that show. I love the thrill of the hunt. One day when I grow up, I would love to slowly be able to cash flow buying rental properties. You know, that's on my hopes and dreams list one day. And, you know, help build Travis and I like a retirement business, right? Anyway, we're not there yet. So we all know the real estate market is wild everywhere. This particular property has gone up substantially in value since we bought it, even in its current condition, even before this kitchen. But again, we know, hey, let's say a home goes up $100,000, $150,000 in value. Everything else has gone up as well. Right now on Zillow, there are 2 or 3, which is actually quite a lot for our area because we have had such low inventory of everything. I am always, though, looking at Zillow at big houses on lots of land for a good deal. What's it gonna be? What you gonna have? So there's like 2 or 3 houses kind of in the same vein as our home in its current condition now in the Shenandoah Valley. They are, you know, like main level 2,000 to 2,800 square feet main living area. They're on a full basement. They have 3 to 7 acres. They are $450,000 to $585,000. That's a big jump in our area, okay? Those houses used to be like $300,000 to $400,000. And the houses that I'm mentioning are in the same condition as our current home. This was a 1963, exactly how it was when the keys were turned in 1963. I mean, it was vintage, right? High-end house for almost 60 years ago. And you can go back and watch through, see, like, I just love talking about this. You can go back and watch through my original house tour video. And we spent about $5,000 when we moved into this house as far as getting the whole thing painted, ceilings and all, getting the kitchen cabinets painted, even having my little backsplash installed, some basic repairs done. I forget the whole list, but I have videos on it if you go back and watch my large family moving vlogs from early 2020, before the whole world changed, right? So those houses and those properties right now in our area that, hold on here, that are same to our house now, fixer-uppers that need totally gone through and redone, but the square footage is there. Once it's all renovated, you're looking at 4,000, 4,500, maybe 5,200 square feet, and you have land, and you're in a good location. But again, 450 to 585 currently. And the houses with that square footage, with the square footage we have at this property, potentially, once we're done, if I was to get a 4,200 square foot home, all renovated, with 7 to 10 acres or so in our area, I mean, we're pushing $1 million. That's what home prices are. Yeah, that's a lot. So I'm not feeling that. And there are a couple houses that we've seen on Zillow and we've said, yeah, but this and that. I know you came on here to hear about houses Jamerrill has seen on Zillow. So I'm just saying, like, the thought's always there, but one house in particular, it was beautiful on the outside. It was like 10 years old. It had a huge shop for Travis already done, in-ground pool. It was only 3 acres. It was $699 something, which was like 2.5 times what we paid for this house, right? Or at least twice. And the inside of the house, to me, even though it was newer, it was kind of like a husband and wife compromise, right? The outside was a nice siding color, Cape Cod style, nice shutters, like a color scheme I would do. And the inside was like a lodge, not a lodge like I would do. So, and the price being $699. That's just not worth it to me. For less land, I would not be happy with the inside. Travis would have a shop, but then like the shop was right up on the house, and yeah, and then I'd have to do inside stuff, and we're paying more to do it. And that was Travis's point, because I was like, oh, let's go see this house. And he said, now, okay, if we over time put the same amount of money into the house we're already in, we're gonna have the same caliber of property, only this one was out a little farther out. Only the convenient location that we wanted, and everything custom to how we want it. So all that to say, the question I was answering was, have we thought about selling our home and getting another home that's suited for our family size? So this house, like our whole vision for it, but we had to look for this house for a few years, was the fact that it's, 2,000 or so square feet in the main living area before this new kitchen. Then we have a 2,200 square foot basement, and the plumbing was already there for the 3rd bathroom in the basement. You know what it takes? It takes money and it takes time. So here we are, we're doing it. It just takes money, it takes time. Electrical's gonna take a few more weeks. I mean, I know electrical wise, I can have anything done I want done, right? And then once this is done, we're gonna move on to the next project. So yes, the value will go up even more so once this kitchen is done. And as we renovate other things, we are free human beings, and so, never say never. I think if anything, one day we could always sell this and then do a new build on a different piece of property in the same general area. I mean, maybe in a few years I'll feel like, okay, we did the big house renovation, now I want to do a different project. So I reserve the right to do that, right? But as far as looking for houses that are on the market, with what we owe on this house, going to get a completely done house on the same decent chunk of land and everything is gonna be like 4 times or more. And I don't wanna. So there you go. There's those thoughts. Hopefully that answered it. Thank you for letting me talk about houses though, and houses I've seen and things we're doing to this house, because I like talking about that. What will you be most excited about when it's done? Oh, so I'm really excited about space to spread out. Even this weekend, one evening, I did big batch spaghetti sauce in the roaster oven, and we were doing, a couple different noodle options, and I had like some jars drying, and the next day we did a couple different types of big batch pancakes, and just having space. Again, in my farmhouse, I know what it's like to have no counter space basically, except for like, a little bit by the little sink corner. And at the farmhouse, I had our table, but we also did so much of life at that table, right? So it was hard to do things. So I'm super excited here about this island. I think I may be most excited about the big island, and that's why the island is the size that it is, because it makes my heart happy. And I can picture having, a couple griddles going, and kids seated, and Legos and things spread out, because this isn't just studio kitchen, this is like functional family space. So I'm most excited about the island, but I'm excited about so many things. Thank you again to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code LFTable16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. Stay on track with simple recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients that help limit meal prep time and cut back on trips to the grocery store. Well, this meal was absolutely delicious, friends, and happy dance report. My one remaining burner on my 1963 stovetop. Well, it wasn't working the day before, but it decided to work for me on this day. I was so glad. A little caveat is it would only work on high, no other temperature readings. So we still made it through though, still made this delicious dinner, and I am so glad. HelloFresh helps you reach your goals. Maintain your goals and take control over your food choices with HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, produce gets from the farm to your doorstep in under a week for peak freshness. HelloFresh offers a wide variety of quick and easy recipes, including 20-minute meals, easy cleanup, and low prep options. HelloFresh's pre-portioned ingredients mean there's less prep for you and less wasted food. Just click the first link in the description below, go to HelloFresh.com, and use code LFTable16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. So someone said white farmhouse sinks are classic. We recently got one. I hope you will too. I did not. I got farmhouse style sinks, but sorry, I'm getting used to wearing my bang swoopy again, and I feel like they keep getting in my eyes. My sinks are stainless steel, so I'll just give that. That may disappoint some people. I was just keeping the whole stainless steel thing going with the refrigerator and the stove and the sinks and the faucets and the dishwashers, and there we go. That's what's happening. If the last burner goes out on the old stove, will you rush to install the new one even though the new kitchen isn't finished? So again, the new stove is a beast, and so I don't know what our plan is. Like, we have double doors here. I'm sure there are ways to get big stoves into kitchens, and we don't have, like, I'm looking at my storage pod, we don't have too far to go. But no, we will not be rushing to get the stove in this kitchen. I don't have the gas thing done. The lady, if you're watching me from the gas company, I have your email. Sometimes different people in life will watch my videos. Like the lady at the bank will say, oh, I saw you on TikTok. Or my insurance agent the other day was like, I saw you here. And I was like, okay, hi. So anyway, if you're watching from the gas company, I have the email marked. I've got to fill out some paperwork. We have to have the gas work done, but that's just another thing for the list that we'll be getting done. No rush on that. But even if that was sitting here ready, the stove would not be approved to use yet because we have to have our vent hood and such inspected by the fire marshal. There's just things and other people involved. So I will give you a stove burner update. So I've shared the burners on the push button stove have slowly been going. Travis did finally, because it's 1963, it was hard to find what we needed. So he found what he needed, he replaced it, that didn't fix anything. Then I've had like a day where I can't get the one burner to work. So I had like 2 days where I thought, okay, the whole thing is down. Then the other day, okay, the back left burner was working, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna use this back left burner. But now the most recent thing was the back left burner, because I had to do a video for a sponsor the other night, and I had to cook some food with it. And so I was like, oh, this is great, because this recipe they want me to do is like on a stovetop, and miracle of miracles, the back left burner worked, but it only worked on high. It wouldn't work on medium high, which I do a lot of cooking on medium high. Wouldn't do that, so I did it on high. It all worked out in the end. Jesus helped me. And then the next day, it didn't work at all. So I just need to be done with that stovetop. I think, 1963 to 2022, 59 years. We salute you, push button stove. I don't know what else to do with it. And we've got over 2 years, right? Because it's March, we moved in February 2020. So 2 years out of that cooktop, we did it. So all that to say, if we're looking at, what is that, 10 to 12 weeks until this kitchen is potentially done, I need at least one burner. I had already shared with you, I was trying to get canning going again, and I can't do that with my current setup. And there's sponsored things and other things I need to get filmed, and I need to cook, and I need to feed us, and I need to boil water. All that to say, we did order another cooktop. I told Travis just find anything with the electric coils because I don't want to deal with a glass top right now. Even though at the farmhouse I had a glass top, I went through 2 glass top stoves there over 10 years. The one the house came with, and then a couple years later a replacement one, and I did canning on it and all that, and I had a glass top at the Forest house. So anyway, but I told him just get the coil top stove. He ordered one, probably, like we like to say, Travis's t-shirt will say, cheap on eBay. He ordered the cooktop. It's gonna be here tomorrow. We will then be using it for 10 to 12 weeks. The only thing I think of with that is I just hope that I find someone who, you know, the Lord will set things up. Someone out there has to need a cooktop for their stove, similar size and such. I might just put it for free on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna use it for 2 to 3 months, and we'll be rolling again with a functional stove. And then we'll have a whole lot more burners real soon when we get the big Mega Mama stove done. What size refrigerator are you getting? So the refrigerator I got for this kitchen is, I believe it's 47 cubic feet. It's a commercial refrigerator. It does not have a freezer. It's just all that space, refrigerator. I'm so excited because with different recipes, we just have so many condiments, okay? And there's random ingredients I will need for different recipes that I'm working on, and then I might have a bottle of, I don't know, XYZ, and it's not something like is in my regular everyday cooking rotation, but every once in a while I need it. I need a bin of extra condiment and so many things, like having all the jar salads in one refrigerator, or having, again, I mentioned recently about kids loving to make pudding. Having a big bowl of pudding and having a refrigerator, like just having a lot of stuff in one place, refrigerator-wise, will be fantastic. And our refrigerator now at this house, it was actually the smallest French door refrigerator I could get. The refrigerator I had at the Forest house, if you're looking for a good large family refrigerator, that one was fantastic. It was the largest French door refrigerator they had on the floor. I want to say it was, I don't remember the cubic feet, but I did an extensive refrigerator shopping video a few years back and just showed the whole process and showed why I picked that one. And that refrigerator was phenomenal. So anyway, this one is a lot smaller, the one that's in the kitchen now, but it's there, it works. I'm thankful to have it. So I will be glad that that one will become a backup refrigerator and not our main everyday use refrigerator. All right, next question. Do you think your appliances will sit out all the time or just when you use them? It's just going to depend on life at the time. So when I have things out, I remember to use them. If I see my bread machines, I'm like, I could get some bread going this morning while we got school going over here. I get inspired to do different things. So I think it'll be a real life kitchen. I think there'll be times I have things sitting out that I'm not using, and I think I'll also be using things. So there you go. And even now, like the last week or so in my kitchen, I haven't been using my slow cookers a lot. I've been using the roasters a lot. So I have one slow cooker on my counter. The other slow cookers are in the corner in the floor, kind of where my chairs are, not in the direct baby kitchen area. But then I have weeks where I'm using my slow cookers a lot. So the difference will be in the new kitchen, I won't have slow cookers pushed on the floor in the corner of the dining room area. I will potentially open these cabinets here on this island and have a slow cooker cabinet. This side of the island, the working side, is gonna have drawers, so it's gonna be one of the other sides with the cabinet. Wall color in the new kitchen. And someone else, do you have an accent color picked out? You mentioned blue. So I feel like my accent color are my stained glass windows, which will have a variety of colors. And again, I know what I like when I see it. So I'm gonna have things that I like, But I do think to start, I am just having it all painted white. White ceiling, white walls, white cabinets. I'm all for it. At my farmhouse, after many years, I started painting everything white, all the walls white, where before we had moved in, I did some greens or some maroon or some yellow and some folk art border wallpaper and different things at different times. But towards the end there, I was like, I just want to open this place up. I just need it all white. So we do have some, beautiful open windows in here. Again, the stained glass is going to be here, and a lot of the white fixtures are kind of like a farmhouse rustic looking white. And so we're just gonna Jamerrill eyeball it and see how it all comes together. If I get it all painted white and then I can't stand it, I can always paint it or have it painted a different color. But right now, I'm just thinking white. I have a lot of that blue-gray, because whenever we moved in, I was like 1963 dingy, I just need it fresh. And so we did that blue-gray, which for those of you who asked me, it's called Online by Sherwin-Williams. That gray, I'm not feeling doing that here in this kitchen. And by the time we get to renovating other parts of the house, again, I may just be doing fresh white all the way through, and seeing where we go from there. Paint is always something that is changeable, right? And I always wanted to do the taupe. The taupe was in style for a real long time, and every time I'd go into someone's house and they had the taupe, I was like, oh, I want the taupe. But I never got to do that. And so again, now I just think white. So we shall see. Have you saw where instead of purchasing an industrial fridge, this lady took 2 fridges? Yes, I have seen, there's TikTok videos and such of people taking 2 refrigerators and making like a giant wall of refrigerators. I'm going by the recommendation. My good friend, her channel is called This Roth Tribe. I got the exact refrigerator she got for her family. It's 47 cubic feet. It has worked well for them. They haven't had any major issues with it. And I'm like, I need that. I'm just gonna get that one. That's as far as I thought about that. Why not do 1 big dishwasher instead of 2? I don't know. I just thought about doing 2. I think that's a fine idea. I do know large families that have 2 dishwashers, and that's as far as I got with that. Again, like thinking things through, making decisions, talking them out. I'm like, that's good. If I had 2 dishwashers here looking at me, I'd be thrilled with that. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. How will you heat your new kitchen? So, and I have this question a couple different ways. So last summer, we got a whole new whole house HVAC system, and that's for heating and for cooling. We also have an emergency backup fireplace, as I've shared, in our basement, that the heat rises to heat the whole house. Anyway, I called our HVAC company because I assumed they would have to set another unit for this kitchen, and they told me no, that the unit that we bought is strong enough to, they're just gonna run some registers out here, and that unit will heat and cool this kitchen just like it does the rest of the house. And if we do that, and if there would be any problems, I would have them set another unit for the kitchen. But again, they know what they're doing. They did tell us like the 1 unit we have would not be enough to do the upstairs. And then with the running of the lines, the way the hot air and cool air travels, to also try to maintain a good temperature in the basement. When we go to do our basement renovations, the basement is gonna need its own unit. But this kitchen, on the same level with the rest of the house, the heat and the air is gonna come down from the ceiling. So that's how that's gonna work. Will you have a more permanent filming setup? I'm gonna have more workspace, right? And I'll turn the camera here in a minute so we can look at this long wall, because I've got pantry questions still. But we have this long wall here, and this whole long wall is gonna be cabinets, and it's gonna have a desk in the middle. 1/3 of the wall with this cabinet space is gonna be for my work cabinets. And so my tripods and my lights. Lights are the biggest thing. I know, I'm supposed to use lights, and I don't set up lights because I don't have room for it. And I feel like, okay, I've made it this far without lights, just by the grace of the Lord. I'm just gonna keep on going and not fool with lights. And I do have like some smaller light setups that I could be using, but I don't know. It's just, if it's too much, I get bogged down, and I feel like I can't function and I can't do any of it. So I do what I can do, right? So I'm thinking if I have work cabinets and I have a big island. I can leave my lights potentially set up on their stands in a cabinet just with the tripod part made smaller, and I can pull them out. The workflow would be have them sitting on the island, turn them on, have all the food out, and go to town filming. Someone else asked me on here if I was going to have an overhead camera. We did try that a few times at the Forest House. We had a GoPro in the ceiling. I could have an overhead camera in that. Again, yay countertop room. I could have even this tripod set up on my counter, and I could raise it all the way up, flex the head down. I have 3 cameras or so. I could set one of the cameras up and we could do overhead footage. So I'll have options, and that will be very nice. So the next question, did you save the money or get a construction loan? We saved the money to do this project. We have not taken a construction loan. We are Dave Ramsey folks. I do hope to go and do our Scream and all those fun things on Dave Ramsey. One day, hopes and dreams. So on our Dave Ramsey plan, the last bit of debt that we have is our mortgage on this house, which, boy, with house prices today and values as we talked about, just seems like, what a deal. Let's get this house paid off. But of course, we're not hitting that real hard whenever we're cash flow in renovation. So we're cash flow in this kitchen, and we did have savings set up to push through. And then we're gonna do other projects after that. We work at the speed of cash, and we work at the speed of getting things done, right? If our contractor still wants to play along with us when we get this kitchen done, we got a whole house to do. I got lots of things on my list. Travis has lots of things on his list. And we're just gonna keep picking away at it. Eventually we'll be done, and then we'll be able to hit what we have left on our mortgage and, you know, keep doing our other adult stuff and our other hopes and dreams. What are some hobbies you have just for you, even if you rarely get to do them? So we will just take a moment here to think. The last time I really had a hobby, it was blogging, and I accidentally turned that into a full-time business even before YouTube. That brought my husband home full-time in 2012. So, me and hobbies, I tell you. And then, after a couple years of that, I saw this YouTube thing, and I was like, oh, I could do things there. And so 2015, I started playing around on YouTube. At first, it was a hobby. And so, yeah, do I have any other hobbies? I have always done gardens. I have always done flower gardens. I have always, you know, been obsessed with bulbs and hostas. So I love me some flower gardens. I like reading books. I am now somehow in a dry slump where I have not picked up a book in recent weeks, and I need to get that going again because that is good for my heart and my mind. And really, I mean, I know I've had a lot of people to feed, but I remember even back in like my early motherhood days, getting a lot of joy in the kitchen, getting a lot of joy figuring out how to make things for my family and making, you know, what would be a big batch for me back then, you know, doing 2 casseroles at one time and having one for then and having one for the freezer because I was working as a nurse. I've gotten a lot of joy in the kitchen, so I guess that can be a hobby as well. And I also really like walking. And so, again, these may not be cool hobbies, but I love getting in the sunshine and walking with my kids. I love walking like on purpose outside for an hour or so, marching around, even if everything else is really busy. And some days it doesn't happen, but many days it does. So those are some of my hobbies. Is the cabinet wall getting plugins as well? This will be the long cabinet wall. It could have been a long picture wall, you know, but Travis and I were in here dreaming up what we wanted out of this room. And I was like, well, I need a lot of cabinets. Can't we just make that a great big cabinet wall? So there's going to be outlets around the desk area, which I gotta turn and look at it. Kind of around, I mean, I'm not telling you exactly, but kind of around where that ladder is, however it's measured out, smack dab in the middle, is going to be a desk area. I have the cabinets picked out for that. They have drawers, and whatever countertop we do on the island, and the countertops is gonna be the same countertop that is done at the desk area. What else will be happening? And I probably am going to do matchy-matchy, whatever backsplash I go with. I'll probably have the backsplash done there. I'm going to have a desktop computer set up there and other equipment and things. So we'll need some outlets there. I want to say there'll be 3 or maybe 4 outlets. We talked about below and above. That's what's going to happen on that wall. Freeze dryer update. So several people have asked, I saw the comments about the freeze dryer being loud in the kitchen during filming. Are you concerned? So yes, I'm concerned. So thank you all for telling me. By the way, Jamerrill, freeze dryers are loud. So hold on, I'm watching a kid. Okay, they're having a good time. It's all good, Dad is there, but still, like, I'm watching. We're running fast. Anyway, I had said in the last video, I think we're gonna extend this countertop down and I'll just have the freeze dryer up here. And I've since learned I don't want the freeze dryer up here because for several reasons. I mean, there's odors and it is loud and they do run all the time. I have talked to the freeze dryer company. I am going to get a freeze dryer. We are going to set up a spot for it downstairs in the basement. I do have some chest freezers down there, and I have been reading that it is good to freeze the trays for some things or all things before you put them in the freeze dryer. So that sounds convenient, and that'll work for this time. Later, when we get to basement renovation time, where we put the freeze dryer for now will probably not be where the freeze dryer lives. We do plan to have 2 different utility closet areas down in the basement, and we will probably make sure that the freeze dryer fits in one of those whenever we think more basement thoughts. Right now we're doing more main living area thoughts with space we already have. So someone asked, a comfy mama chair or a pretty mama chair, or both, a unicorn chair. So I need to know kitchen seating island options and also comfy mama chair. I'm seeing 2 different chairs in my mind. Maybe one with a floral print that kind of looks like something that like Mama Bear from Berenstain Bears would sit in. I don't know. We'll see. Or is it going to match the couch more? There's got to be chair and ottoman options. So we're going to find something. Are all your old refrigerators efficient to run? Planning to replace any? So that's a great question. So whenever I say I have 4 refrigerators and 2 upright freezers, and then downstairs in the basement I have a big old big old, not even a D in there, OL, big old chest freezer, which it's always bigger in my head. Anyway, it's deep, it's not super long. And then I have 3 7 cubic feet chest freezers. Folks just immediately think, oh my goodness, your electric bill, those must cost you hundreds of dollars a month. So here's how I know that they don't, is that Travis is a big air conditioner person. You know, air conditioner's always running. Of course, the heat is always running in the winter, but the house isn't on like 72. But there's a couple months, I'm gonna say it's like October and maybe April, where really neither hot air nor cold air is going through the HVAC. And we've had almost a full year because we got our new HVAC beginning of last summer. So we've had all last summer running that air conditioner all day, all winter running the heat, and we had October. And even the past April with the old system, it just wasn't running. So all that to say, in October and in April in Virginia, when we're just not running the HVAC because the temperatures are so perfect and it just all works wonderfully, our electric bill for this house, which, you know, before the kitchen, 4,200 couple square feet with the upstairs and the downstairs, because the downstairs has electrical, the downstairs has freezers in it and a bathroom and lights and, you know, things running. Anyway, when we're not using the HVAC, our electric bill has been about $250 a month. So that's lights, refrigerators, freezers. I don't know, what else do we run? All electric devices. And so I remember back at the farmhouse did not have central heat and air. We heated with a wood stove, and our air conditioner was open windows with the screens in and fans and box fans. And I did have a second refrigerator there, and then on my back porch I had a freezer, which I think it wasn't even 15 cubic square feet, but it was an upright freezer that I got at a yard sale from my neighbors. So at the farmhouse for 10 years, our electric bill was $200 to $250 a month. So I feel like this house being about $250 a month without the HVAC going is good. It's, you know, the HVAC system that really jacks the bill up. So I think that that means that all of my freezers and refrigerators do run very efficiently. If my bill is the same as it was without those same appliances plugged in at my old farmhouse. Hope that makes sense. So do I plan on replacing any? I do plan on my 3 7 cubic feet small freezers. And I got those because during the pandemic with all our butchering and stuff, I felt like I needed a 3rd upright freezer, and of course I couldn't get those anywhere, so I was able to get 3 of the smaller ones. And what I want to do is just give those to families, and so I have a home for 2 of them, and I'm sure I can find a home quickly for the 3rd one when I get there. Right now, I still need that freezer space. Once I get squared away where these will live, which I know is one of my many questions that we're getting to. Once we do the whole move the refrigerators and the freezer thing, I will then pass those on. I will probably get a 3rd upright freezer, and my tan freezer I've showed you guys, the older one I have in the basement, is still working like a champ. That thing might outlive us all, or it might be like my push button stove, you know, maybe I'll get 2 more years out of it. But so far it has been fantastic. I don't think there's gonna be room for that in the basement once we do the basement renovations. But anyway, it's holding my half a cow and other things right now. I knew I always needed a lot of refrigerator and freezer space. I know, again, at the farmhouse, we had 3 children when we moved into that house. It was nice to have the 2nd refrigerator, especially when I did once a month grocery shopping for 5 of us, and then for 6 of us, and then for 7 of us. I got the small upright freezer from my neighbor, and I also got another smaller refrigerator that sat on that back porch too. So at some point I did have 3 refrigerators, and that was super helpful. And especially, you know, bulk shopping, bulk cooking, you need room for it. And so it has been helpful for me. On TikTok, I have seen other large families, and they will have a freezer just for fruit and vegetables, and a freezer for the full cow, and a freezer for a full pig, and a freezer for other odds and ends. And I'm like, okay, I'm not alone. Sometimes I get out here and I'm like, maybe I'm the only one who needs all this, but I got a lot of food I'm slinging. And even if I wasn't doing food on the internet, I would be slinging a lot of food for my family. I do plan to replace the 3 smaller chest freezers in my basement with a 3rd upright freezer. My faded refrigerator that came with this house is still working. My black refrigerator from my first house that I guess is 23 or 24 years old now, that thing is still working. And then my other refrigerator I bought at the Forest house, but not the one that was in my kitchen. It was a backup for in my garage. That's still working. And we will be adding the 47 cubic feet commercial refrigerator, and then I got the refrigerator in my kitchen. So, and that will be moving somewhere. So I think kind of like the countertops and the backsplash, that makes me think I'll get there when I get there, but I don't have to decide that today. Definitely know those 3 in the basement will get replaced, and we'll think more thoughts when we get there. I'll read a couple pantry questions so we can talk about that. How big is your pantry going to be? What about pantry storage? Are you doing a full pantry in your kitchen? And I have this pantry question a couple different ways, and of course I recently shared a video with my upstairs closet pantries. I guess part of it is, and you know, some of it's probably just from me being online and such. So in having the opportunity to do this kitchen how I want it, you know, one of my original ideas was to have a long rectangle laundry room, freezer room, and like some pantry room in here. But then when I got thinking about what I really wanted, I was like, no, I just want the big room. And so I just want the big room. My long additional cabinet wall, now remember, we're gonna have a big L of cabinets, uppers and lowers here, and that whole 6 by 12 island is all cabinets all around too, and one side drawers. And then this whole wall is gonna be cabinets all down that wall. So I don't have the numbers in front of me. Is this wall, was it 18 feet, was it 21 feet? I forget offhand, but the length of this wall, this down here might be our homeschool cabinets. Then in the middle around the desk, it might be natural for those to be my business cabinets. And then this last third of cabinets over there, where that, let's see if I can, there we go, where that yellow wire, floor to ceiling in kitchen pantry cabinets. That's what I'm thinking. I did not want to take up space in this kitchen, have a big pantry room. I have been referred to other YouTubers who have butler's pantries and have like an appliance pantry and have these little rooms off their kitchen, and they do all that. I think that's super. It just wasn't my vision for what I'm doing in this room. And I love their setup. Like, she's in her apron, she has a beautiful one. Another one, Farmhouse on Boone, she has a beautiful one. But they're not me and I'm not them, and this is what I wanted. So I'm gonna have a bunch of cabinets there, and they're all gonna open. I think that'll be, what is that, 12 cabinets or so. Nothing but upstairs pantry storage. One of the questions that came in is, will I then not need my upstairs pantry closets? I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. When I get in here, when I'm able to have those cabinets and use them and function with them, I'll be able to see. Like right now in my baby kitchen, I don't have room for buckets. In this kitchen, potentially, even on this side, this 6 feet that's gonna have bar stools and kids, I could have 3 buckets sitting there. Or maybe on the side that has the sink on the stove side, because I'll have 2 sinks here, maybe I'll have buckets there. I've gotta kind of live with it. But I am thinking ahead in that I'm having this big section of cabinets here with the pantry in mind. That's as far as I'm going with it, because I also want an in-kitchen sitting area. I know not everyone has understood that, but I know how our family functions. We might have 8 other friends over. The kids are spread out doing things. We've got food on the island there. Me and another mom or 2 or 3 or 4 are sitting in this area. We've got babies on the floor. We're going to get water out of the sink. We're doing things, and this is also a living space. So that space was also very important for me. I do have a pantry room in the basement that is where I am able to store a lot of things like buckets and like canning equipment, my different canners. I also have a bathroom and toiletry storage area in that pantry room, and then I have a lot of canned goods and sauces and spices and things that we work through. And so I go shopping down in my pantry room. I bring what I need to these upstairs pantry closets, and we rotate that way. Things like when I made big batch spaghetti sauce the other day, I knew I had some spaghetti sauce that had an expiration date of 2022, and so I made sure that that got brought into the kitchen for me to cook with. But I am responsible for a large family, and I do have short-term food storage and long-term food storage. Since I don't have the freeze dryer set up, and even that's going to be a process and getting it here and getting it set up and getting it going, I have been doing a freeze-dried food order every month where I've been building my family a stash of freeze-dried food. So I don't know if you know or not, but there's some crazy things happening. So adding freeze-dried food to my food storage, and I'll have to rotate through that as well, and that's fine, was something else I could do. It was another option. Okay, so then we have a whole lot of what are we doing with the rest of the house building questions. What will you do with your old kitchen space? Are you going to open up your living room? Next question, what will the old kitchen become? Are you going to have a door on the kitchen to the rest of the house or open up that wall? What is going in your old kitchen? A larger mudroom? Question mark. What are you going to make your old kitchen into? What are you doing with your current kitchen? You see a variety of questions. Now, through all the garage to kitchen conversion videos, I think I've shared kind of the update at that moment, what I think. The big thing is, and this is where like pressure can come in my opinion, we do not have to have every aspect of a complete 4,200 square foot remodel renovation planned out to get started. And then this kitchen will make this house a little over 4,800 square feet. If I had to have everything single thing planned out beyond the details of this kitchen. That feels insane to me. I can't do that. I can't function like that. I mean, we can dream and we talk things out, and like right now, Travis and I are talking about like options beyond that door there. So big thing is this wall is the end of our house. This is a load-bearing wall. To remove this, first off, we would have to be ready for what's on the other side of this wall, right? Also, we would have to have an engineer come out and have a beam put up top. And we could do that at some point. Maybe we will. Again, we have options. So that did not feel right, because that forces us to then immediately, as you know, while this is being done, start dealing with what's on the other side of that wall. And then we also have the caveat, I do have to stand in this room and film. I've got YouTube videos, I've got a bunch of small videos I film, I've got a private paid membership, I got a lot of, full-time video content creator here. Hey, that's me. And so I do need to be able to film in this space as well. And again, life lesson, you don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to start. I started blogging I started 2008, but then when I felt it on my heart, like to push and really be a blogger in 2011, just jump out and do it. You want to do it anyway. Things weren't perfect. Life wasn't perfect. My lighting wasn't perfect. My writing wasn't perfect. Pictures, I didn't have pictures. There wasn't Pinterest then. Instagram came out a little later. That was a new thing, so I'm a dinosaur in blogging ages, but I jumped out and I did it, even though my grammar wasn't perfect and still isn't to this day. I did not let that imperfection hold me down. I did not know my there, and there until I started writing on the internet. There you go. I didn't know my R and my R until I started writing on the internet. You make a few public mistakes on the internet and you learn a lot of stuff real fast. But that's okay. I have learned, and again, my testimony, I'm still here, right? I'm still here. I'm doing it. I'm doing stuff. I've accomplished a few things. No matter what, if I fall on my face, I got Jesus, and he really is all I need. And that gets us back to home remodeling, okay? All I know is to start, because Travis and I, if you go back to the first video about the garage to kitchen conversion, even back when we did our third bathroom in our basement this summer, we were really looking at all our options. We thought we were starting on the basement. That was our original idea. That's what we thought made the most sense to start with. But as we rolled that around, and then as I, work and everything increases for me, and I'm doing it all in our baby kitchen, which even back when we bought this house, some folks were like, how could you buy that house with that small kitchen? I mean, you cook all the time and you film all the time. You need a functional kitchen. But even then, we got a great deal. The value of this fixer-upper property has doubled, and we got the space and the vision and the location, and so many videos I have done on this, so many boxes that this property checked and prayers have been answered here. And I will say another really neat thing about this property, because we're small town folks, our stonemason who did work on our back door, we went to church with him for a very long time. And he told me that he knew the family and the children of the family that lived here, and that one of them had him come out to this property and walk the property with them and pray that the Lord would bring the family to this property who needed this property, and this property needed them. Basically, like the sale would go through and that Jesus stuff was going to happen here. And we heard that recently, and that just really encouraged me. Doesn't mean I won't never sell this house. How do you like that? Won't never. That's fun. Doesn't mean that could never happen. However, it just yet again is confirmation that the Lord is with me, and the Lord is with us in this renovation process. And Travis's idea was, let's just do this kitchen first and go from there. And so with all the other options on the other side of that door, so this wall is not coming out. This is going to be a long cabinet wall. The pantry storage, bunch of it upstairs, daily use pantry, 12 cabinets for daily pantry use is happening on this wall. My work desk is going to be on this wall. homeschool storage for kids is going to be on this wall. That door I would like to replace with a single French door. It can be open, it can be closed. When I film, I'm gonna close it sometimes, okay? A lot of times it can be propped open and that's cool and people will be in here while I'm filming, but then sometimes like this, if I just gotta talk or if I gotta do a live or something, that door can be closed and that's okay. So many big updates. So while we are working on this kitchen, we have been gathering ideas, and I like to know what our options are for the other remodels, okay? Yes, I want a different dedicated laundry room area. I do want to be able to put my freezers and refrigerators in there as well. I do want a bigger opened up living room area, and that door will no longer be leading to the laundry room. But one piece of news that we did find out was where I was thinking we could remove the 2 fireplaces in the middle of the house and somehow just have the chimney for the downstairs wood stove and the chimney up. We found out from our fireplace company that whole wall that I have bumped out in the kitchen area where my coffee table and stuff are, and there's this old wood stove there that's not functional. That whole big thing is roof to basement concrete, and it's like, I don't know, is it 15 feet long or so? It's deep and wide, and that's not coming out. Now it could come out, but that could also be the price of the whole upstairs remodel. So, okay, so I did have a moment of mourning with that, probably a couple days where I just felt sad. Like, we were talking about opening that up. We were talking about turning the baby kitchen area into a laundry room, talking about doing a different entrance for Zion's room, and even some comments with that, you know, well then Zion's gonna have a washer and dryer right by his room. The baby laundry room is there already. I mean, again, I just get back to like, oh my goodness, whose life is 100% perfect and flawless? Where his room is now, there's a TV on the other side of that wall. There's noises in a home. We all live here. And I don't know if anyone lives in a padded room where the sounds, no sound comes through, but no matter what, we're gonna hear things no matter where bedrooms are in this house, okay? So, all that to say, the plan, I thought, roughly as an option, was to make the baby kitchen into a laundry room, take those fireplaces out, and just have open, like where my dining room table is, all the way into the living room, and just be one big open room. And now with the fireplaces, that's not gonna happen. So I will share the current conversation Travis and I are having, but I reserve the right to tweak and change, and there may be something that we decide to do futuristically that's not even on our radar yet. As of this moment, we're thinking when you go through that one French door, that little laundry room, mudroom will not be there, and the kitchen will not be there, and the dining room table will not be there. It's just gonna be one long opened up room, and that room will be our new family room. And we're gonna have the old not functioning wood stove taken out. I even wanna see if our fireplace company can take the ledge off, just because little kids, I mean, they're gonna climb on it. I'm gonna have to wrap it in duct tape. So can that just come out? And the fireplace face will be there, that's decorative. And so anyway, we've got some plans on having one big, it'll be like a long rectangle. So for the question of will the kitchen flow into the living room, as of today, what we're thinking we're gonna do is, yes, you're gonna go through that door and be in a big living room, you're gonna walk through that door and be in a big kitchen. And that's the flow at this moment. That leads us to the other side of this wall. So yes, at this moment, the other side of this wall is our 18-year-old son's bedroom. But we're thinking, okay, well, if we can't take the fireplaces out, I have also toyed with the idea of turning our front living room into, it would just be a huge, talk about upstairs pantry storage, washer, dryer, refrigerators. That would be a great size room, right? It's probably half the size of this room. It would just be a nice size room. So thinking of options, that is one option, because we're gonna have the long living room and we've got another bedroom on the other side of this wall. That wouldn't change. And that whole living room now is just gonna be the laundry room, storage room, functional large family mama room that has the prettiest window ever. And you come in the front door, the kids could turn right into it, and the kids could turn right into it, and we would have a mudroom there. You know, if you would have asked me maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have shared that idea. But then Travis and I got brainstorming. We were out here looking at the front of the house the other day, and he was even thinking like, these doors could be our front doors. I'm like, no, we have to have a new front door set where the front door is now because of the vision I have for the outside of the house. Don't mess with me on that, okay? So anyway, we were talking about the possibility. The idea several folks have mentioned is, what about making Zion's room into the laundry room and then making Zion a bedroom downstairs? So the reason I'm not jumping to that is because the downstairs is a whole other level of renovation project. We're focusing on the upstairs now, and because of time/money/energy, we're working upstairs right now, okay? That's what this kitchen is like. Okay, let's just get this upstairs done. So we have talked about, let's see if I can even make this make sense, but I like these 3 windows that we have here, and it would be a different style window, but for where my big bay window is, we have to get all new windows and doors anyway for the rest of the house. What if they replace the bay window with some long windows, but in the middle of the bay window have like a thick dividing board? And what if we turned our current living room into 2 bedrooms, basically? And one would be Zion's room. It'd be about the size of his room now. And the door for that could be going in and out of the living room. And then the other bedroom on the other side would have a door that opens up into our foyer. Hope that makes sense. May not. My mom is with us a lot. She has 2 houses. She comes and goes a lot. So one bedroom would be like a guest room and also room for her for when she's here. The other room would be Zion's room. On the other side of it, on this side of the wall, would be the laundry room. And that way, you know, we can have water lines run because there's water lines running all through the house. And both bathrooms also need redone. So as of right now, that is the thought. And we're thinking basement-wise, when we get there, there will be a master bedroom and with its own 4th bathroom and a big closet area, and then another big living room area, and then another multi-purpose room, bathroom, you know, just, again, options. We obviously don't think and have never searched for every single kid having their own bedroom. I know that kids and bedrooms are a big topic of conversation. At our Forest house, we had an upstairs room for our boys that was the same size as our big master bedroom downstairs. And we had 2 bunk beds, one on either side of the room and 1 toddler bed in there. And right now at this house, Zion has his own room. Our 2 girls have a room with their own IKEA loft beds. And then we have 4 boys in a room. It is the 11-year-old and the 12-year-old have their own IKEA loft bed. And then our 2 younger boys who are 7 and 4 have bunk beds. So futuristically, if you want to know like down the road thoughts, when there is a master bedroom downstairs, we'll probably give the girls our bedroom upstairs because it has a bathroom connected and it has a walk-in closet and, you know, girl life. And then the 11 and 12-year-old will move into the room that's the girls' room now. There'll be 2 in a room, but it's not 4 in a room, and that's okay. 4 in the room is just fine too. Then the current room that we have 4 young boys in, it will be the 7-year-old and the 4-year-old. At that point, we'll each get one of those loft beds, and then I'll have Tobin in there. And then of course, if we have any other babies at any other points, we have some other bedrooms potentially open and some other options as well. So that's my bedroom plan. Right now we have 4 bedrooms. When it's all said and done, we will potentially have 6 or 7 bedrooms. We have an 11-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, 15-year-old, an 18-year-old. Obviously, I'm all about kids staying home as long as they need to do other schooling, to do other saving, to do other planning. My goal is to always help and be involved with launches and hopes and dreams and all of that. It's definitely not a push you out of the nest and you're done. It's how can I help you? What's your plan? How can we be involved? How can we support you? And so I want bedrooms available for that. So in 10 years, 6 of our 9 children will be launched and out in the world for the most part. My oldest is a married adult and a dad. Second oldest is planning and doing all of his great things. Then the 15-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old, and 9-year-old, those 4, 10 years from today, will be doing their great grown-up things. But just meaning it goes quick, right? So we'll get a couple extra bedrooms. And right now, laundry room, bedroom questions and options are, I don't know if because of the fireplace situation, if the current living room with the bay window is going to be 2 more bedrooms, or if it will be a massive laundry room area. I like the idea of it being a massive laundry room area. If I could do what I wanted, I think I would try to make that work. I gotta focus on this right now. You wanna talk about focusing and getting things done. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna talk about scooping things out on the other side of that door and doing the bathrooms and, you know, plenty that needs to be done upstairs. And then we'll move to the downstairs. So hopes and dreams, I don't think we're doing all that, like getting all that done in 2022. I think this is 2022 and 2023, like home renovations is what we're doing for the next 2 years. That's how I think it'll be. Will things change? Will the whole world fall apart and everything's just like, okay, we can't build anything for a while now? That can happen too. So we're just doing it step by step the best we can. The square footage footprint of this house was all our hopes and dreams, and we knew that the potential was here. But unless someone has a large amount of liquid funds and 6 work crews, this is gonna be a process, and yay, we're doing a big kitchen. So hopefully that answers a lot of those questions that have been coming in. Don't worry, many more projects are coming, but let me take you around and show you some electrical stuff, because that does get filed under things that have been getting done here lately. Also, happy thoughts. We've got, those are little mini irises coming up for spring. I see some hopeful tulips that are gonna come up. I did a lot of tulips last year. Snow from Saturday, 61 now. Then around here, we got so many tulips that are coming up. And I see some little daffodil starts. I mix them so they come up together. Of course, this is a new property for me to ball up. Okay, so we are in the basement now. What are we looking at, Trev?
The new conduit for the new sub panel.
Okay.
Comes
out of there,
panel.
Goes there. And then on the other side of this, when we're gonna go to the other side of the house, we're gonna see more of this gray tubing, and that goes up to the attic.
Right.
These new things you drilled, is that in reference to the air conditioner or in reference to the kitchen?
That's the air conditioner.
Okay.
They had run it oddly, so I rerun it.
We have improved it. Okay. Anything else? Kitchen, electrical down here in the basement?
I tried to think of the easiest way to get power all the way out there, and so running a sub panel
makes sense.
Makes more sense. And then quickest way to run it, I thought, was in the attic.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to go drill through all these.
What are these called? They're floor joists, but they're because they're for the upstairs floor?
Right.
Is that how this works? Okay. So there's more of the basement happening. Alrighty, so let's go look outside. Okay, and then walking up this hill. So there's our air conditioner. And eventually when we do the basement project, I guess they will level and put another one here beside it. Seems like the spot for it. We go over here. This is where this brown tube is electrical for the air conditioner that goes all the way up into the attic. And then that gray tube is new, where, do I say our sub panel wires?
Right.
Does that make sense? So yeah, they're gonna pull the wires through here. That's going all the way up to the attic, all the way. Okay, we're gonna go see the other end of it now. Here we go. Okay, we are on the move. Okay, in here. Okay, back in the kitchen.
Yeah, so we made it all the way through the attic. We're gonna cut it off here.
Oh, and this is where it's coming out?
Yeah, we're gonna cut it off back here and run it this way.
Nice.
All the way over here to the new panel. Right over here.
Okay. Panel, walkie-walkie. See how tall Travis is?
I'm gonna turn the conduit down and set the panel here. I gotta move this stud. We're gonna set the panel here.
Okay, love it.
Conduit's gonna come down through the wall into the top of the.
And then how tall is our ceiling gonna be? I've gotten that.
8 foot. It's gonna be 8 foot.
8 foot, okay. Saw it here first. Yay! So Travis can still touch the ceiling. That's per our normal.
We got our new panel here and all the breakers.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay, yeah, here's panel and breakers.
Sub panel.
Mm-hmm.
And
Things, tools, rotary hammer.
start slinging boxes.
Slinging boxes, friends.
Slinging wire.
Slinging wire. So you're getting all that underway. And so these wires you have here are for outlets and things in the island, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
We'll probably set a box and run like a BX cable. It's like a metal sheath, flexible conduit
okay, y'all
for
got
the
that?
island receptacles.
Okay.
They'll
Love
probably
it.
be exposed inside the cabinet. So.
Right. We don't have to, we won't see it when we come in. And then over here, someone asked me about outlets. I was saying in the desk area, there's going to be outlets.
Yeah.
Will that outlet stay?
That one will probably not. What? It just depends.
Okay.
I may try to pull it out, but it's not. It's fed from the old house circuitry, so.
Gotcha. So it'd probably just be cleaner
If
to
it
not
does-
have it.
Yeah, if it does stay, that'd be fine. But
And so if I need to run a vacuum or some other like appliance, will I have,
yeah, there's gonna be
There.
receptacles all the way around that.
Okay.
The room here.
so there will be plenty of receptacles to plug in the steam mop?
Sure.
Sure, okay. This is like build your own
Like
adventure.
every 6 feet.
Every
or
s-
less,
every
it's
6
gonna be
feet
a
or
receptacle.
less. Okay, but in the kitchen area, they'll be closer.
Yeah.
But on the floor area, yeah, okay, that's good. So this is our electrical adventure. A lot is going to be happening in this space over here. So friends, those are all of our garage to kitchen conversion updates and also further home renovation thoughts. Whole lot of going on. Whole lot of to come. Let me show you real quick in the pod, at least the box that the big stove is in too. And then I'll say goodbye. Okay, oh, and when y'all ask about parking. So parking, and then here, house, trash can's not gonna be there. Garage, hello, porch refrigerators. Anyway, so the parking is on down the side here. So there's that. And this pod won't be here either. Okay. More electrical stuff. We have not filled this thing. I was worrying with getting more things delivered from Lowe's with the temperature fluctuations. I know it's just, not a perfect system, but we got our lighting. I had shown that in another video. You can go back and watch, but it's all sitting in here. This crate here is the stove, and I think those are the doors that came with it. So it's here. We didn't have to move it in a pickup truck. We were victorious, yay. Thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. Use code LFTable16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts across 6 HelloFresh boxes plus free shipping, yay.